Let's go. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the Game According to Me, a weekly podcast, during the football season at least, where we talk about sports and all the sports stories. Usually, we just talk about the college and pro game of the NFL, but we got a lot of stories to jump into. So let's just go ahead and get ready to start. Let's just jump right into it. Um, Steve Nash was fired yesterday. It was a joint thing between him and the Nets, basically saying that they weren't listening to me, so didn't need a new voice. And this is just another straw on the camel's back of the Brooklyn Nets, I guess, that you can say, was what's going on. Over the weekend, Kyrie Irving went all idiot again. Well, he's an idiot to begin with. He can't go all idiot. He's already an idiot. But he went all idiot and anti-Semitic by posting something on his Twitter account. I guess a book and a video that is from Alex Jones. I'm guessing that's I'm not sure if it's the Alex Jones that is the Sandy Hook denier or if it's someone else, but I'm guessing that's the Sandy Hook denier, Alex Jones, and it's a book that features anti-Semitic rhetoric about the Jews. And when asked about it the other night, he went all crazy on Nick Friedel, and he talked about that he didn't this, and then they didn't apologize, nothing. He took the tweet down, but he didn't apologize for nothing. And then the last two games, he has Monday and last night, he has not even talking to the media. And the Nets lost last night again. They've got a losing record, and I guess it was enough for Steve Nash. I think not only Steve Nash knew they wasn't listening to him, because even years ago, before they hired Steve Nash, Kyrie Irving said they don't need a coach. They don't need a coach. Just be them. And this is a bigger topic for on Kyrie Irving and if the ridiculous thing that he knows just because he went to Duke doesn't mean he's smart. He's not smart. This motherfucker think he knows everything when he doesn't. Thinks the earth is flat, thinks the vaccine is bad, and now I guess he thinks Jews is bad. Fuck Kyrie Irving. And you just get Steve Nash fired. I hope Steve Nash gets another chance at a coaching job. Because, it looks like he had no shot with the Brooklyn Nets. He had no shot. And then to pour salt in the wound or to pour acid over the car or whatever the hell you saying you want to use, there are now rumors. There are now rumors that he the Brooklyn Nets are going to hire Ime Udoka after the scandal that he had in Boston. They're not going to hire him to replace Steve Nash. And it is just all types of crazy with those folks. It is crazy with those folks in Brooklyn. It is crazy with those folks in LA. It is just insane. And I tell you, it is goddamn ridiculous what is going on. Same thing that happened to Kanye West, and rightfully so. Everything that happened to Kanye should have happened to Kanye. Should have happened to Kyrie Irving. He should not even be on this team. He should not even be on this, you know, it really shouldn't be on this in this league. And Joe Tsai, the owner, came out against the stuff that not Kanye, I wanted to call him Kanye, Kyrie posted online. Owner of the Nets, Joe Tsai, and that was good. But in his freedom, called him a hypocrite, and rightfully so, because he's apparently about some killings and violation and life violations in China. And he's done, and not only has he not done nothing to help, but it seems like that he may support it or whatever. So even the damn owner can't be, he can't do nothing about it. He's like, well, I support that, so I gotta let Kyrie be Kyrie. It was a good thing from Brian Windhorst yesterday on First Take. They've let Kyrie do whatever he's wanted, for the most part. They let him do whatever he's wanted. When he didn't want to get the vaccine, at first they said that they wasn't going to even play him, right? And then they said, no, we'll let him play. He'll play on the road. And they've just bended to this guy who's an exceptional talent, but he's straight up fucked in the head. Seriously. And he's one of the most self-centered, self-righteous, and just down and out sickening human beings to ever walk the face of this earth. Fuck Kyrie Irving. And I don't even know what else to say about that, but just fuck Kyrie Irving. Getting Steve Nash fired. Seriously fucked. And guys, you out there, keep going to Kyrie games with fight anti-Semitism. Keep going, bringing signs in there. Keep bringing it in. On to more positive things. The Major League Baseball World Series is going on. Padres have a 2-1 lead. The Phillies, have a 2-1 lead over the Astros. Game 1, the Phillies had a 6-5 win over the Astros, including a couple of dingers by Bryce Harper, I believe, right? And then in Game 2, the Astros took out the Phillies 5-2. So then last night, Game 3, Philly shut out the Astros 7-0. Right now on First Take, Todd Frazier is showing how Les McCullers seemingly looked to have been tipping his pitches, and that's how they were able to hit 5 home runs last night. Did with the Phillies. Especially there was one point in the game where Bryce Harper calls over one of the hitters and tells him something, and then when he comes back up the next inning, he hits a home run on the first pitch. So it looks like Lance McCullers was tipping his pitches and the Phillies saw something there. So if it gets back around to Lance McCullers in the rotation, he's gonna have to do something to fix that. But this seems to be a pretty darn good World Series right now. We got a 2-1 lead. Game 3 was supposed to be yesterday, but it was rained out, so it was happening today. Game 4 is tonight. Game 5 is tomorrow. And if necessary, game 6 and 7 are Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But right now, the Phillies have a 2-1 lead on the Astros. So yesterday was a big news story. We had the Steve Nash firing, World Series going on. Then the NFL trade deadline was the Jesus, it's the craziest we've ever seen in the National Football League. 10 trades were made yesterday before the trade deadline, and that's amazing. And then if you go back to some of the trades that were made before then, with like Robbie Anderson and Deion Jones and all those guys and Christian McCaffrey, it was incredible. So, but I think let's quickly go ahead and talk about what went down. So we had Roquan Smith be traded from Chicago to the Ravens. Baltimore get Roquan Smith. Chicago received AJ Klein as 2023 second round draft pick and a 2023 fifth round draft pick. That was one of the trades. Then we had a trade inside the NFC North Division where we had Minnesota receiving TJ Hawkinson from the Detroit Lions, a 2023 fourth round draft pick, and a 2024 conditional fourth round draft pick, while Detroit received a 2023 second round draft pick and a 2024 third round draft pick. The trade inside the division, that's kind of weird to see, but hey, you can get what you can get from this. And that's something that I always thought. So speaking of Chicago, they needed to get some help, and they get for Justin Fields, and they get Chase Claypool. Pittsburgh received Chicago's original 2023 second round draft pick. They'll keep the one from Baltimore. Pittsburgh received that, and Chicago would get Chase Claypool. More help for Justin Fields. I saw someone on Twitter who says, now they got Chase Claypool, now that they have Darnell Mooney, if they can get Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State, that's your core right there for next year, and that's a great core there for Justin Fields to work with. So all that could be help. The Steelers, though, they kept on going. They got some help as well. They're going to receive cornerback William Jackson III and a 2025 conditional seventh round draft pick from the Washington Commanders, who will receive a 2025 conditional sixth round draft pick. So that is some very interesting stuff there. Miami did a lot of stuff just yesterday. One of the big ones is getting Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos. They get Bradley Chubb and a 2025 fifth round draft pick, while Denver received Chase Edmonds, a 2023 fourth round draft pick, and a 2023 first round draft pick, and a 2024 fourth round draft pick goes to the Denver Broncos. And by the way, all these trades that are happening doesn't necessarily mean that teams are giving up. Like really, like you think about it, NFC is so bad right now. It's so mediocre that even at 3-5 and trading away Roquan Smith, and last week trading away what's his face, Jesus Christ, I can't even think of his name, Robert Quinn. They still are in it for a wild card spot. They're still very much in it. And that's insane. The trade I feel is maybe the biggest one. Most people are going to say the Bradley Chubb trade to Miami. Not me. I think it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They traded for the suspended receiver Calvin Ridley for gambling. Jacksonville Jaguars gave Atlanta a 2023 conditional fifth round draft pick and a 2024 conditional second round draft pick. And all of those things, that 2023 and a 2024 conditional one, I think can go up to maybe like a first. So Atlanta. They say they got uh, Drake London. They got Kyle Pitts. They got Cordell Patterson when he's healthy. Why not trade Kevin Ridley? And that's a good trade. Now next year, Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence are going to have a superstar receiver, and you're going to have him as your number one. You're going to have Christian Kirk as your number two. That's going to be incredible. A lot of people are going to be choosing the Jacksonville Jaguars as the sleeper team next year in the preseason. I guarantee you that because of that trade. Again, another trade from the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins get Jeff Wilson Jr., the running back from San Francisco. San Francisco gets a 2023 fifth-round draft pick. With Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco, you don't need Jeff Wilson anymore. He's going to be the guy. Yeah, I know that in the past they love to use multiple running backs, but when you got Christian McCaffrey, you don't need to. And then after the Broncos traded Bradley Chubb to the Miami Dolphins, they then traded to get another pass rusher back. They traded to the Jets. Denver receives defensive end Jacob Martin and a 2024 fifth round draft pick for no wait a minute. Well, that was the Jets. Actually, the Jets traded Jacob Martin and a 2024 fifth round draft pick to Denver, and the Jets receive in return a 2024 fourth round draft pick. The Buffalo Bills swapped running backs with the Indianapolis Colts. Buffalo receives Nyheim Hines, as Indianapolis receives Zach Moss and a conditional 2023 fifth round draft pick. I like this trade for the Buffalo Bills because I feel like even though Devin Singletary is having a career year and the rookie James Cook is good as well, they need somebody who can bust the game open. And I think that Nyheim Hines, I got to be careful when I say that. Nyheim Hines can do that. He has breakaway speed. He can return kicks and punts as well. I think that's a good trade for the Buffalo Bills, giving them some more firepower and explosiveness in that offense. The Falcons, again, they still are in it. They're in the division lead, actually, right? They're in the division lead of the NFC South. They get Rashad Fenton from the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to receive a conditional 2023 seventh round draft pick. So, and then a very small minor trade between Buffalo and Atlanta at the deadline. This came at the deadline. I was watching the deadline show NFL Live yesterday. Um, Buffalo receives safety Dean Marlowe, and Atlanta is going to receive a 2023 seventh round draft pick. Buffalo Bills has had some injuries in the safety. Jordan Poyer got hurt again. Micah Hyde has been hurt, so they get Dean Marlowe, the safety from Atlanta. So, and all this happened yesterday. Although I think the Roquan Smith trade actually happened Monday, but they had it down as November 1st. But man, this was out of it's out of this world. What happened? And it is crazy, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This is how trade deadlines should be. And sometimes you've seen this in Major League Baseball. Sometimes you've seen this in the NBA. The trade deadlines be good, although in recent years that really hasn't really been the case with the trade deadlines. But man, this one was a great one for the NFL. And Adam Schefter, he made a good he made a good idea. He said that they should even push it back 2 more weeks. Push the trade deadline back 2 more weeks to week 10, and then by then more teams would be out of it and more willing to trade their guys for the future. So I like that idea as well. So, but what an incredible day yesterday for the NFL. Trade deadline day, trades galore, the most trades they've had at deadline by far. And it was a wonderful day to look about it. So last night was the college football rankings. The first one to come out. I really thought it was last week because it's usually been after week 8, but I guess this year's after week 9 or whatever. So we'll go through the top 10. Not gonna go through all of them, but from 10 on, LSU at 6-2 is 10. Southern California at 7-1 is 9. Oregon at 7-1 is 8. TCU at 8-0 is 7. Alabama at 7-1 is 6. Excuse me. Michigan at 8-0 is 5. Clemson at 8-0 is 4. Georgia at 8-0 is 3. Ohio State 8-0 2. And Tennessee at 8-0 is 1. No one record. They said something that I actually I had forgotten about last night on the show, that in the first year, the 2014, Mississippi State was the first number 1 seed, and of the first college football playoff rankings, Mississippi State was the number 1 team, and they're the only team that started off at number 1 that didn't make the college football playoff, and that was in the very first year. So that's very interesting. That bodes well for Tennessee. We got upcoming this week, Tennessee and Georgia. So I think that's going to set itself out. Yeah, damn Alabama. We're going to find a way to get them out of there somehow. I don't know what's going to happen. Tennessee's already beat them, but playoff team ahead of an 8-0 TCU. It feels like once again they're getting screwed, and this is why they're going to expand the playoffs. I really wish they would go to 8 or 16, not this odd fucking number of 12. It really is just absolutely stupid. I might try to go back and find a way, because there were some people, Sports Illustrated and some others were showing how it would be, 12-team playoff would be with these rankings. So I might go back and sort of like tell you guys that. But yeah, I mean, this really seems like it's going to sort itself off as it always does. We know Ohio State and Michigan play at the end of the year. We can't forget Illinois, though. Illinois was ranked 16 at 7-1. They plays Michigan, and if Illinois beats Michigan, then they will go on to the thing to face Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. So we'll have to see. That's going to be a good game later on in the year. Illinois and Michigan. Oregon and USC seems like they're going to sort themselves out, because they're not doing the division leader versus the division leader again. They're doing the top 2 teams in the conference make the championship game, and right now that is Oregon and Southern Carolina, South USC. Shit, damn it. So I think that's gonna set itself up. So, once again, the Big Ten and the Big 12 could be deeming the Big Ten, the Pac-12 and the Big 12 could be once again without a representative in the playoffs, because we still have this albatross known as Alabama Crimson Tide. So even with one loss ahead of TCU in both of the Pac-12 teams, so that's gonna be um, a tough task. But I don't know. Tennessee beat Alabama, so Tennessee's always gonna. Well, actually, I think actually Alabama's in another division than Tennessee. So it's right now it's between Tennessee and Georgia. If Tennessee and Georgia, who the winner of that team that game this weekend, more than likely goes on to the SEC championship game to face Alabama. Um, so let me look here real quick. Okay, so let's see. It says Sports Illustrated how a 12-team playoff would look after the first CFP ranking. So I want to really quickly show it to you. You can find it. Just go to si.com, and I'm sure it's right there on this page, or just Google CFP rankings. So this is how it would look. So what it would be is Tennessee would be your SEC champion. Ohio State would be the Big Ten champion. Clemson would be the ACC champion, and TCU would be the Big 12 champion. So that's what happened. The top four conference Power Five conference champions are going to get buys. So Tennessee, Ohio State, Clemson, and TCU, they would get the bye. And then from 5 to 12, they would put it up in they would put it up in those orders. So what you would have here is you have number 5 Georgia taking on number 12 Tulane. Tulane would get into the college football player. I'm guessing because of the group of 5, because UCLA was actually 12th in the rankings. So okay, so let's read it quick here. In the bracket below, you'll find a 12-team playoff using the CFP Selection Committee's rankings. Remember, we are following the format that the CFP presidents adopted on September 1st. The 6 highest-ranked conference champions get an automatic bid. Tennessee, Ohio State, Clemson, TCU. So I'm guessing since Tennessee and Georgia are tied and Michigan and Ohio State are tied, they decided just to put Georgia at 5, Michigan at 6. Okay. Then the next 6 highest ranked teams get an out-large spot. The top 4 conference champions receive bye into the quarterfinals. So I'm not sure why again Tulane is 12, because I believe UCLA was ranked. So was ranked ahead of Tulane. So, but again, let's just go here. Georgia, 5th Georgia will face 12 Tulane. 6th Michigan will face 11th Ole Miss. 7th Alabama would face 10 Louisiana State, and 8 Oregon would face 9 USC. Now, when you look at this again, you have to go. We got one Big 12 team, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SEC teams. Now, at this point, you can't crap on it. You can't bitch about it. You just have to say, okay, we got a bigger playoff, and then SEC's conference. At this point, especially when the Big 12 is down, TCU is the only big team in the Big 12, and Clemson's the only big team in the ACC. That you kind of have to just deal with the fact. And the fact that Tulane is 12, I'm going to check this real quick. I'm going to go back and make sure, because I was almost certain that it was UCLA was the 12th team. So let me see. Give me a second here as I go through all these websites. Yes, UCLA is 12. Tulane is 19. So I'm not necessarily sure why Tulane makes it. I'm guessing Tulane makes it because they're the group of 5. And I also guess because they would be, in the conference. They would be the other conference winner, right? They would be a conference winner. So I'm guessing that's why. That is just my guess. So, but that's how the 12-team college football playoff would look like. I really just wish they would just go 8 or go 16, but we got a 12, so we're gonna get more. So I guess we can't bitch about it. And while we're here, we're just gonna transfer right into the NCAA recap. Go ahead and talk about what went down last week and what we look forward to the future in this upcoming week in the college football landscape. It was I thought it was a really interesting week last week as we look here. Um, Going back to Thursday, NC State slipped by Virginia Tech 22-21. Also on Thursday, Utah beat Washington State 21-17. On Saturday's action, Notre Dame beat Syracuse. I was worried about Notre Dame because when you lose to Stanford and you lost to Marshall at home, and Syracuse was a top ranked team, they were like a top 15, 16 team. You know, they went held so close to Clemson to Syracuse. You wondered what was going to happen, but Notre Dame took control of that game and won it 40-24. Ohio State beat Penn State 44-31. Penn State kept it close for a while, but at the end, Ohio State just went ahead and took over. TCU takes on Virginia 41-31, and I think that's one of the reasons why the cast has TCU, the committee has TCU where they have it, because offensively they can put up points, but defensively they can't stop anybody. Speaking of stopping anybody, who thought you could stop Oklahoma State? You know, like Kansas State did, 48-0. That's amazing what Kansas State did, and they did it without their starter quarterback Adrian Martinez. That's a very good win for Kansas State. UCF beat Cincinnati 25-21. Oregon beat California 42-24. Later, I believe later on that night, ESPN. If you're gonna, if you're going to interview Marshawn Lynch, it's you know what's gonna happen. He's going to curse, and he cursed twice. You can tell him all the time. That's just who he is. So you know what you were getting into by interviewing Marshawn Lynch. Louisville beats Wake Forest 48-21. In the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, Georgia beat Florida 42-20. Illinois kept it continue against Nebraska 26-9. Tennessee beat the hell out of Kentucky 44-6. USC beat Arizona 45-37. Michigan with a good over victory over Michigan State 29-7. Afterwards, there was a big kerfuffle in the locker room, in the hallway, and apparently, the Michigan State players were beating up on this one Michigan player, and there's already been 8 suspensions from Michigan State. Jim Harbaugh wants criminal charges filed, so we'll see what goes out from that one. But very ugly scene. What they're gonna have to start doing with their is Michigan is gonna have to start letting the the other team leave. They have to let the other team leave first, or maybe what you do is the losing team should leave first. Whoever the losing team is, even if it's Michigan, even though they're at home, the losing team should leave first, and then the winning team will leave after that. I think that's what needs to happen, because we don't want something, that ugly incident that we had there in the big house. Mississippi beat Texas A&M 31-28. UNC, who seems to be the other team in contention for the ACC title other than Clemson, they beat Pittsburgh 42-24, and UCLA beat Stanford 38-13. And again, I'm guessing because Tulane is a Power 5 conference winner, as according to what it said on the on the Sports Illustrated article. I'm guessing that's why they get an automatic bid in the 12th team and not UCLA. As we look ahead to this coming week's action, Friday, we get Oregon State at Washington. Ohio State on Saturday takes on Northwestern. That should be an easy victory for Ohio State. Northwestern is not the team that they usually are. Although they're usually, one of these years, Ohio State usually have one of those games where they just don't put it together. And maybe this could be it, but I doubt it. North Carolina is taking on Virginia. Texas Tech is at TCU. TCU needs to keep it a team. They need to hold down Texas Tech, and while putting up the point they are, to show that they are worthy of being in that college football playoff. Because even if some losses do happen, they still, the committee still may see TCU as less than. then a one-loss Pac-12 championship. So they need some defensive help for TCU. Tulane takes on Tulsa. UCF takes on Memphis. Oklahoma State is at Kansas. Penn State is at Indiana. Syracuse is at Pittsburgh. The game of the week, we all know it. We have here number one Georgia versus number two Tennessee. Those are the AP rankings. As we know, Tennessee is number one in the college football rankings. Georgia's number three. Illinois, if they want to have a shot at not only a Big Ten championship, but making the college football playoffs, which possibly could still happen, especially if you beat Michigan and Ohio State. You're going to have to get past Michigan State. Illinois takes on Michigan State. Oregon needs to keep it continue against Colorado. Liberty is at Arkansas. Texas is at Kansas State. Let's see if Kansas State can do to Texas what they did to Oklahoma State. Alabama and LSU is happening. That's going to be a pretty good one. Clemson and Notre Dame. This is one for Clemson as well. They're having some quarterback issues. This is not the same Clemson team as it was during the Trevor Lawrence years or the Deshaun Watson years. But this isn't the Notre Dame from the last couple of years as well. So who knows? This could be a 44-14 game for Clemson, or we could see one of those Syracuse type of games where Notre Dame keeps it close and we have a 27-24 game for Clemson. But whatever it is, Clemson's going to have to get past Notre Dame to stay in the runnings for the college football playoff. Michigan is at Rutgers. That should be easy. Utah at home against Arizona. Another good matchup, North Carolina State versus Wake Forest. That's a good one. Two ranked teams going head to head. California is at USC. And UCLA takes on Arizona State. UCLA, let's keep it to show them that they want to get into those. But it's not happening this year, actually. But they might still have a shot at a Pac-12 championship, at least. I don't think they're going to make it into the college football playoff. But, yeah. And they have to get past Arizona State to do it. So that was the college football rankings and the college football recap. Now on to the main event, as always, the National Football League. All right, and now to the National Football League. We head back to last Thursday's action with the Baltimore Ravens against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another loss for the Buccaneers, who did not do anything in the trade deadline action, which is kind of surprising. They lost 27-22, and then right afterwards, I think at the end of the week, Tom Brady and Giselle announced their divorce, and so Tom Brady has not been himself, and I think it is because of the divorce. Sure, he's missing some offensive linemen. His weapons have not helped him out as much. They don't run the ball as much as maybe they should, but it seems like that Tom Brady's not playing well because of that. So, but the Ravens beat the Buccaneers 27-22. On Sunday's action, we had another game in London. On the last of the London games, we do have a Germany game coming up very soon with the Buccaneers and Seahawks, I believe. So, gonna wait for that. But this one, the Broncos beat the Jaguars 21-17. I mean, we really are starting to see some of the things that maybe the Legion of Boom saw with Russell Wilson, and it is after that thing, it's all like, let's ride, right? Let's ride, and they're just like, really, let's ride? No, man, that's just So it's really is kind of just kind of is because when you would say like go Hawks when he was the Seahawks, I really never thought about it, but now he's in Denver and he's going Broncos country. Let's ride. It's so off-putting. And I have for years thought that he has not been well, that's that's probably for my other podcast, but I really thought he has not been it when it comes to his relationship with Ciara. But anyway, The Dolphins beat the Lions 31-27. Boy, the Lions, everybody who beat the Lions would be better. That is not the case. And now they've traded T.J. Hockenson. So, yeah, but they're gonna get another round pick. They should not at that point draft a quarterback and let it and start from there. I don't know if Dan Campbell's gonna keep his job. He seems like a coach you would love to play for, but is it what he says and how you feel about it? It just doesn't go out on the field. So the Falcons beat the Panthers 37-34 in overtime as a dumb move by DJ Moore. And and listen, there's some conversation to that. So there's some conversation to that where we talked about whether or not DJ Moore after scoring a touchdown to tie the game at 34-34 with the extra point looming took off his helmet. Now that's a rule that you can't do that in the NFL. I don't know why it is a rule because that's part of the no fun league, but at one point it was just epidemic of people just taking off their helmets for no reason, trying to get their face on television because you can't see their face through the helmets. So they decided that you can't take your helmet off in the field of play. And technically, he was not in the field of play. He was out of the back of the end zone going towards the fans, but they called it anyway. That made the extra point a lot longer. Eddie Pinero, former Chicago Bear, missed it. And then in overtime, he missed a short 33-yard field goal. Falcons went down there. Young Wei Koo, he hit the field goal and won it for the Falcons. So the Panthers could have been in a division lead at 3-5, at 14 at 3-5. But the Falcons, lead the division at 4-4. Vikings beat the Cardinals 34-21, still leader in the NFC North for the Vikings. The Cowboys beat the Bears 49-29, 20-point victory. And all these Bear fans are just like, they're excited because they think that it's Justin Fields is coming in. Well, he had great stats. He had two big plays on one play, two big missteps on one play. There's one play where he throws the ball to David Montgomery. David Montgomery fumbles. Michael Parsons recovers the fumble and goes scores me for a touchdown. So not only in that, on one, he threw it to the wrong guy because there was another guy wide open on the left side of the field, but he throws it to the check down, and he could have thrown it to the guy down the field, which would have been a first down, and maybe he wouldn't fumble. And then when Michael Parsons recovers the fumble, he jumps over Michael Parsons without touching him. Michael Parsons gets up, runs in the end zone for a touchdown. I don't know. I still have my reservations about Justin Fields, and even though they gave him help with Chase Claypool now, but we'll see. I still have my reservations. I'm not in it to say that he's the guy just yet. The Saints shut out the Raiders 24-0. Again, what's happened to this AFC West that's supposed to be so lauded, and they're supposed to have all the teams. They're supposed to be so deep. And when it comes down to it, it's still the Chiefs and everybody else. It's unreal. Eagles beat the Steelers 35-13. Patriots beat the Jets 22-17. Zach Wilson did not play well after the game. Robert Saleh said that there's no considering making a quarterback change, and there shouldn't be. You chose a number one pick on Zach Wilson. At least you got to give him 3 years to do it, or at least these first two. And then if he's struggling in year 3, then maybe you make a change. But who do you have on the backup? You have Joe Flacco, right? So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So, but the Patriots and Mac Jones started. I don't think Bailey Zappi even played. So Mac Jones started to help the team win 22-17 for the Patriots there. Titans beat the Texans 17-10. That is the 4th consecutive game that Derrick Henry has played against the Houston Texans, where he's rushed for over 200 yards. That's incredible. Derrick Henry is still one of the top backs in this league. And if you're one of these people who says that running backs don't matter and they shouldn't get paid, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Because he should get paid and he get paid. Seahawks beat the Giants 27-13. I thought this was going to be one of those games where the Giants just wasn't going to be able to beat the Seahawks, wasn't going to be able to keep up maybe. A couple of fumbles by the punt returner, one where he got a concussion. We hope he's doing well. But the Seahawks were too much for, and afterwards they really took a shot at Russell Wilson, saying that the reason why they're playing so well is no one needs to take the credit for anything. So that's wild. Taylor Heineke and the Commanders beat the Colts 17-16. Again, I think Taylor Heineke is your guy. I don't know what's going to happen at the rest of the season, if there'll be any way to get a quarterback, but I think right now Taylor Heineke is your guy at the very least. Rams beat the 49ers 31-14. 49ers can beat the Rams in the regular season, can't beat them in the playoffs. Another big time victory. Christian McCaffrey, fourth person in NFL history to throw a touchdown, catch a touchdown, and run a touchdown. Walter Payton, Daniel Tomlinson, David Patton, and then now Christian McCaffrey. Other than David Patton, those are some big names in there, including the greatest of all time, Walter Payton. Buffalo Bills beat the Packers 27-17 on Sunday Night Football. It shouldn't have even been that close, but some two interceptions by the Bills is what they was going down to try to put it away. Made this closer than it should have been. And that's the thing, this was a bad game for Josh Allen and a bad game for the Bills offensively, maybe, and they still beat the Packers by 10. So that shows you where the Bills at, and that kind of shows you where the Packers at. The Packers who didn't do anything this year at the trade deadline. It's unreal. So the Packers, I think, if anything, they have one option left, and that's to sign Odell Beckham Jr. And if they don't sign him, then I don't think the Packers are gonna have a shot. Even with that guy at quarterback, I don't know if it's just their season. And then the shocker of the week, I think, is the Monday Night Football game. The Browns beat the Bengals 32-13. Just under rush all the time was Joe Burrow. He's without Jamar Chase, and it was just not good. The Browns gave them hell and beat their ass, 32-13. So that was it for week 8. Looking forward to week 9 tomorrow night. We have the Eagles and the Texans. Kind of funny thing here, right? Tomorrow night, Thursday, not only will there be a Houston and Philly football game, but there is going to be also obviously a Houston and Philly game 5 of the World Series. So what fan base will be watching what? We'll have to wait and see. Originally, there was not supposed to be a game on Thursday night, but because of the rain out on Monday, they pushed all the games back. So it's going to be fun and interesting to see in what city was watched the most and watched by who, and then nationally as well. That's going to be very interesting to think about. To Sunday, the Colts will take on the Patriots. The Packers are at the Lions. The Chargers are at the Falcons. Falcons need to keep it continued because they want to continue their lead, try to extend their lead in the division. And of course, the Chargers, I think they're coming off a bye. They need to now get back on track. The Bills at the Jets. This is going to be something that the Jets need to try to get back into. I don't think they'll be able to. Bills, they need to keep it rolling, keep it continued. Divisional game, anything can happen, but I think they are focused right now. Vikings are at the Commanders. Same thing here. The Vikings, they got focused. The Commanders are 2-game winning streak. I don't think the Vikings are going to take this team. They take this team lightly. Panthers are at the Bengals. Panthers, every team in the NFC South is in it, so they need to win to try to stay in it. And the Bengals need to try to win to stay in it as well, because right now the Ravens are at the top of the division. Raiders are at the Jaguars. The Dolphins are at the Bears. See what Brett Bradley Chubb does for the Dolphins, and see what Chase Claypool does for the Bears. Seahawks are at the Cardinals. I think we're very close to a mid-season change in Arizona. I think we're really into it. So be on the lookout for that. The Rams are at the Buccaneers. That's going to be an interesting one. Something to think about. Sunday Night Football, the Titans at the Chiefs. That's going to be a really good one. Can Derrick Henry run all over the Chiefs like he ran all over the Texans? And after coming off a bye, what are the Chiefs going to do now with them? So that's going to be something special. And then Monday Night Football could be a good game. The Baltimore Ravens at the New Orleans Saints. We'll see. I don't think the Saints are going to shut out the Ravens like they shut out the Raiders, but should be a very interesting game. Back-to-back weeks, kind of like what the Bears did. Bears had a Thursday night game against Washington, came off, had a Monday night game against the Patriots, and now the Ravens. Thursday night game against the Buccaneers, Monday night football game against the Saints. We'll see what they do in New Orleans. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of the Game According to Me. We had this an incredible week of topics, including basically you just say we had an incredible day yesterday. The Steve Nash getting fired, and then the World Series, the trade deadline for the NFL, most trades ever at the trade deadline. It was just an unprecedented day in the world of sports yesterday, and I don't think you get any crazier, but you never know what's going to happen. You just never know what's going to happen in the world of sports, and that's why we love sports so much. They're the greatest reality show there's ever been is our sports, and I'm glad to be able to talk about it with you guys. So, if you guys loved what you just heard on this podcast, then and you want to support your boy, there's many ways to do it. The first way to do it is go to patreon.com/AJTRIP to become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you will see on my YouTube channel, AJTRIP, what I would talk about on my podcast, The World According to Me, part where you listen to all your podcasts, and what video games I play on my Twitch channel. I have to have the video game though, unless you buy it from me. But otherwise, yeah, you will get those choices. You can also go to anchor.fm/Andre Triple Show, and you can sign up there with the subscriptions. It's a 99 3 tiers, a 99-cent tier, a $4.99 tier, and a $9.99 tier. Or if you don't have the monetarily ability to support me, just make sure that you like and you subscribe and you rate my podcasts and you share it on all your social medias. You can do it that way to help a brother out. I appreciate anything that you do to support me. I appreciate it all. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.